Located in Robis, Lungi, the Tomb of the Unknown Civilians stands as a reminder of Sierra Leone's dreadful past, a memorial to those who never received names on headstones or traditional rites. Over 100 mass graves were identified after the war by the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. Many left neglected and forgotten. From Kono to Teung, mass graves tell distressing stories. In one attack on February 18, 1995, 600 citizens were rounded up and killed at the town barrier in Teung. The Sierra Leone Truth and Reconciliation Commission recorded cases where entire communities were burned, executed, or mutilated, many dumped in unidentified graves. The Tomb of the Unknown Civilians rises from the Center for Memory and Reparations mission to honor remembrance and nurture healing in communities affected by the war.
When we protect these mass graves, we offer the community the opportunity to do traditional burial rites, essentially Sarah, because our society values traditional burial rites. Sierra Leoneans don't accept the removal of human remains from one grave to another. We have therefore collected dirt from one of the mass graves around the country and place it in the coffin that is in the tomb to represent all the other mass graves around the country. The coffin that is in the tomb is also covered in the handprints of children, because in 1996, the election slogan was "The future is in your hands," because Tijankaba and the Electoral Commission at the time decided that since we have been fighting for a few years now, the future of the country is in our hands through that election, that democratic process that was supposed to lead us to peace. But the rebels, the Revolutionary United Front, disagreed with that mantra. They refused to participate in the elections and therefore began to amputate ordinary citizens around the country.
The tomb is surrounded by 16 pillars, representing the 16 districts in Sierra Leone where the atrocities occurred. Rituals are occasionally performed here, small ceremonies meant to restore dignity to the dead and healing to the living.
We also have a peace bell, which we ring on important occasions, sometimes Independence Day, the end of the Civil War, or the passing of a prominent Sierra Leonean, just to call the nation to attention on matters of national importance. And then we have a small gallery where we have the stories and pictures of the mass graves that we have protected around the country.
The Center for Memory and Reparations is playing its own part in mapping and protecting mass graves, but committed government involvement for both symbolic and material reparation is lacking to protect all sites.
Symbolic reparation ought to be led by government so that it can become a national and collective healing mechanism. We are doing fantastic work, if I may say so myself, but it is inadequate without government involvement because government has more resources than I have. And therefore, if the government comes along and pour resources into this recommended idea of symbolic reparation for the country, I think we can achieve the collective healing that...
The TRC found that no matter the type of mass grave, most of the sites are neglected in danger of being lost forever. Volume 2, Chapter 4, page 264, paragraph 204 of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission report recommends the identification of mass graves in which victims of the conflict were buried. Intentional effort to take up symbolic reparations is now more crucial than ever before to teach the present and future generations of the past, creating room for healing and avoidance of the replication of the same catastrophe. This story is brought to you with support from the Africa Transitional Justice Legacy Fund through the Media Reform Coordinating Group under the project Engaging Media and Communities to Change the Narrative on Transitional Justice Issues in Sierra Leone. Memuna Tosuma, AYV News, Freetown.